All right, so Dana Altman's got another transfer. They will not be done. There will be, I'd say, at least two more additions, probably. But let's talk about the latest transfer. Miles Goodman, former, depending on which service you look at, top 100 recruit, transferring from Penn State, power forward slash center, 6'11", 225. He did some high school prep work elsewhere, but he's from the Seattle, Washington area. Shout out O'Day High School, which is where he went. It's where my cousins went to high school as well. A lot of good athletes have come out of O'Day in recent years. So in the 24/7 Sports Composite, Miles Goodman is the number 108 overall player, was in his high school recruiting class, the number 21 center, and he is the second highest rated Penn State recruit ever with a composite rating just over 95. Spencer, why is this making you uneasy? Well, this past year for Penn State, he never played more than 16 minutes in a single game. His season highs, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block shot. Those are his season highs. They didn't all occur in the same game, just to be clear. He only recorded 1 block shot all year. His total stats for the season: he appeared in 13 games. He totaled 15 points, 7 of 12 shooting, did not attempt a 3. He was 1 of 8 at the free throw line. Sounds like an Oregon Duck already. And he had 1 block and 1 steal in 79 total minutes. And to put into perspective how few minutes played that is in a season, KJ Evans, who was Oregon's backup 4, whose role diminished from his freshman to sophomore year because they brought in Brandon Angel, but I expect Evans to be the starting 4 next year for the Ducks. He played 570 minutes this past year. Now, he was basically Oregon's starting 4 for the final 2 to 3 weeks of the season. He started out playing Angel, particularly on defense, but still, a sixth man-ish borderline start, 570 minutes. This guy played 79. So you're bringing in a second-year player who I don't believe can redshirt. The threshold is 9 games in college basketball. It's 4 for football, and then postseason doesn't count to have a redshirt and be eligible for that. Still, he's got 3 years of eligibility left. And, I mean, intriguing size. But the reason I say this is making me uneasy, I don't know what to expect from any of the 3 transfers Oregon has brought in. I do not know. What I'm hoping is that Goodman is brought in as a bench reserve guy, and they know Nate Bittle's coming back, and so he's the big off the bench who could replace either of those in a given rotation. And my guess is they try to find another big somewhere, and then probably another guard. That's where I think this Oregon roster is, depending on what happens with Des Lindsey. So I actually forgot that this had happened this year, but Lindsey came in from the JUCO ranks last year. We know Dana loves his JUCO guys, very much so. Has had a lot of success with them over the years. Chris Boucher was a JUCO. Chris Duarte was a JUCO, just to name a couple. Okay, there have been a lot. Bam Tracy, now since departed Duck, he was a JUCO guy. Des Lindsey is someone who came in, 6'6" wing that has plenty of athleticism, who, in his own words, his priorities are, quote, defense and shooting the ball. He is a 3-and-D player. Game of Zones. Please come back. I loved those. He was hurt this year, and I knew that, but then when I talked about him recently on the show, I forgot that. But then a couple of you pointed that out to me, and it clicked in my head like, oh, well, duh. Of course he didn't play. But I don't know that that changes my take on him. Because if he was hurt this past year, who's a 6'6" athletic wing that had an injury and plenty of potential that Oregon was... Oh, that's right, Mookie Cook. Got hurt towards the end of his high school career, came into Oregon hurt, didn't really play his first year, tried to play this, just didn't work out. So relying on him as an option... Don't know if I'm crazy about that. If he's fully healthy, hope he is. Hey, we'll see what we got because none of us have seen him play a single minute in an Oregon uniform. But Oregon's transfer haul is now Miles Goodman, 1 point per game in 13 contests. Devon Pryor, 3 points per game, 2 seasons at Texas. And TK Simpkins, who is the most proven of the bunch and spent 2 years at Elon in the Colonial Athletic Conference, where he was a first-team all-conference selection this past year, 16 points per game. That's your most proven guy so far. Now, that sounds great and all. I will remind my everydayers out there and inform those who missed my take previously that I don't know what to expect from him either, because Raheem Moss was a 15.5 point a game scorer in the MAC when he was at Akron, and that is a significantly better conference than the Colonial. So I've got 3 transfers who are filling positions of need. Small forward with Bam Tracy gone. Guard position, kind of combo guard with Keyshawn Bartholomew out of eligibility. No more Supreme Cook. You bring in Miles Goodman. Okay, I see all of that. There is no proven Power 4 production amidst any of these transfers. They could be great, but relying on them right now, it's early in the portal cycle. When I talked about this on Friday's show. Last year, Supreme Cook was the last transfer added. They brought him in the middle of June. TJ Bamba was added on May 2nd. He was the guy who really fired me up about this past year's Oregon basketball team. And for the most part, they lived up to that. Unfortunately, they couldn't get to the second weekend. But again, that team was really good. And I was excited about it because they brought in Brandon Angel, who was proven at Stanford for 4 years. TJ Bamba, who had spent 3 or 4 years combined at Villanova and Washington State and was productive. And they brought in Supreme Cook to be a backup who had just had a good season at Georgetown. None of these guys have showcased anything that resembles a full season at the Power 4 level against high-end competition and being reliable go-to guys. So you've got Shellstad back. You've got Evans back. I really hope this means Nate Bittle is back. That's what I keep hoping. So speaking of Nate Bittle, Austin Rapp, who was the freshman of the year in the WCC at Portland and is a 3-point menace at about 6'10 or so, he was someone who Oregon had reached out to and was looking at in the transfer portal. He's committed to Wisconsin now. So that option is off the board. You're bringing in inexperienced guys. Like, you just brought in an inexperienced. The potential's there, sure. You just brought in an inexperienced big guy on a roster that needs a big, whether Bittle is there or not. I'm trying to speak into existence in my own head. This means that Nate Bittle is coming back. That's what I hope. But we haven't heard that yet. I would love to get that news this week. I really would. And so the starting point of Jackson Shellstad going into his 3rd year, who was awesome this past year, KJ Evans, who is at least closer, I hope, to his full potential going into year 3, that's a good starting point. There are still pieces to fill it. This is a really interesting offseason. You compare that to Kelly Graves on the women's side, by the way. He just brought in a transfer from Fresno State, got a more proven production, at least because she was playing in the Mountain West. And I'm curious, to say the least, to see how this all unfolds. But Miles Goodman could be a good player one day. Right now, I'd slot him in as the Supreme Cook role. Be an energy big off the bench who can spell your starters. It's going to be, this is not done. There are at least 2 more basketball transfers on the way. At least. It's a matter of when, not if. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.